What if I was to tell you there's a high chance that everything you learnt about ball flight paths is wrong, especially if you're older? What we learnt a long time ago has been proven to be wrong. And if you don't know ball flights, how can you adjust? How can you analyze your own game on the fly when you're out there? In this video, I'm going to tell you how it really works based on the latest data from Flight Scope, GC Quad, TrackMan, the Doppler radar, how it's really shown us what happens when the clubs hit the ball and where the ball goes. And it's actually much more simple than you think. So when you hit the ball, whether it goes left or right or straight, you describe what you did. Oh, I hit it straight. Oh, I pulled it. Oh, I pushed it. Push, slice, pull, hook, slice, hook, draw, flay. I think there's 9 of them altogether. That's really complicated. And it's a way of describing what happened. But really, there's only 3 shots. The one that goes straight, the one that bends left, and the one that bends right. There's 2 misconceptions. The first one is the ball sets off in the direction that your swing path went. We always thought that that's the most force, that's where it goes. So if I have my little V rod here, and this is my target direction, if the path is straight, we expect it to go in that direction. If this was my swing path, but the club was aligned, so let me get a so the club is aligned to this here, but I'm swinging it this way. If I was to do this towards you, we were always told, even if the club is pointing that way, club face, because the path is moving here, this is where the most force, the weight behind that ball will start in that way. That is wrong. The high-speed videos, they've seen that where it actually starts was nearer to where the face was. The other thing they used to then it switched to, it goes to where your face is pointing. So I'm swinging this way, face is pointing that way. You go that way, go straight down the line that was pointing. What the high-speed cameras and the radar shows us, that actually it goes in between these two, but favors the club face. So in this case, as I'm swinging this way and the club face is pointing that way, the ball would actually set off in about that direction. It's about 80%, 75 to 80% in favor of that, so roughly in that direction. And the closer these get together, obviously, the closer you're getting to the actual face. I think if there's about a 2-degree difference, it's classified as straight. But the same obviously happens the other way. If your club face is pointing here, but I'm swinging out that way, the ball will start nearer to here. So that's your first lesson. It goes more in the direction of where the club face is pointing than where you're swinging. The next misconception is spin. We were told the spin gets created and you get side spin on the ball. The side spin makes it go one way or another. Again, this is totally wrong. There is no side spin unless you've hit it like that and it's spinning along the ground here, then maybe there's a bit of side spin. When the ball is hit, and I'll use the big ball to start with to show you, when the club is coming into the ball, generate, the ball hits the club, fraction of a second it's stuck to it, then it goes away. That club has imparted, because of the loft, it's imparted backspin on it. So on the perfectly straight shot, that spin would look like that. Now what happens when the club face relative to the swing path is different? So if my club face was pointing to the right, we know the ball's going to start slightly right, but I swing this way so that it's open relative to where I am swinging. As it hits the ball, it's still going to impart backspin, but it knocks the ball off its axis slightly. So instead of spinning like that, it's now had its axis knocked off and it's spinning like that on a slight tilt over. And it'd be the same the other way around. If I had a closed face relative to my swing path, then it's going to knock the axis, not the vertical axis that way, but it's still got backspin. You can see it on this little ball quite clearly because of the stripes. It'll spin that way, but if I've got an open face relative to the part, it'll knock it that way. It's still spinning, but it's spinning on that axis, slightly pointing that way. Well, what does that mean? Spin gives the ball lift. It wants to fly up. So you imagine at the side of this ball, it's a couple of wings, and it's spinning like this. It's generating lift. And if the wings are horizontal, it goes up. If it's had its axis tilted, then that lift now is going to that side, and the same is going that way. A little aeroplane. So the lift is going in which direction it's been tilted. And that's called the spin axis. The spin axis is through the middle here, spinning around that axis. It gets tilted that way or that way. And so it'll get lift that way or that way. And the more it gets tilted, the more the lift is going that way. And from your perspective as a player, when a ball is hit straight, it just goes straight, and then it seems to climb at the end. So you'd see it go away and climb at the end and then drop. That classic shape like that. And the reason for that is it's got a lot of forward momentum as it's been hit, and that overrides the spin. So it keeps going that way until that slows down, and the spin lift takes over and takes it up and then drops it. Now imagine that has been tilted. From your perspective as the player, it goes off fast, and then you see it climb because the lift is now that way. It climbs and drops over here, very weak. That's your slice. If that gap is very narrow, it's a small slice, or a fade as we like to call it. Then it goes up, doesn't climb quite so much. It's still climbing forward, but only slightly over because the axis is slightly tilted, and and it lands in a controlled, somewhere near the middle of the fairway, we hope. Same the other way. Ball takes off, it's tilted that way, and you get the hook or the draw. Why is the slice most hated and people want to draw it? It's usually down to distance. And the reason a slice doesn't go so far, or even a fade won't go quite so far, is that you've opened the face slightly, you've added loft. You add loft, you add spin. So the ball will spin faster. So if you took a driver and you hit it out of the middle, maybe you get 2,500 revs. If you open the face, maybe you've got out to 3,500 now. That's a lot of spin. And if you close it slightly, not too much, but if you close it, you drop that down to 2000, below 2000, and the ball actually, the driver can fall out of the sky. The RPM gets too low. So you've got more loft on the open slicey fade. That ball takes off a bit higher. It's got more spin, so it's going higher with more spin. Flies out here, drops way out. It's gone nowhere, long way short. Opposite's true with the hook or let's draw. Let's play with the draw. You've closed the face, or closing the face, you de-loft it. De-lofting, less spin, ball comes out lower. So with a slight draw, you've closed the face, you knock the access over that way, it's coming out lower, and it therefore is flying faster out this way, it's going more forward speed, and then when it lands, it doesn't have so much backspin as it did on a slice. So when it lands, it's got topspin. No, it never has topspin, unless you've topped it off the tee. It's just got less backspin, so it doesn't grab the ground. So it's going lower, skidding in with less spin, it'll run further. You come the other way with a slice, it's going up with loads of spin, it'll stop dead or spin off sideways because the spin is still so high. And there's a limit to spin as you get with the very high loft clubs. So if you're playing with your 51 degree, you open that, you don't actually get so much of the slice spin or close it with a hook spin, because it's already got so much loft and already got so much spin. There's actually a limit, I think it's about 47 degrees, after which it just more slides up the face, and then you don't get so much control. So what do we want to do? If we look at those paths that I talked about at the start, I talked about, let's take the first three: straight shot, pull shot, push shot. Actually, all of those are straight. They're either straight down the middle, straight left, or straight right, and they'll pretty much look the same. If you do that, you only have to figure out, was I aligned correctly? Okay, if I've aligned myself over to the right and it goes straight there and really pushed it, it's a straight shot. I just wasn't aligned to the target properly. And the same the other way. If you're one of those people that swings over the top, pulls the ball left, so we've gone over the top, we're going left, but that club face is aligned with the path, and you do that every time, then what's the problem? Just align yourself more that way, more right of the target, and play your normal shot, and you hit it down the middle every time. Everyone has a tendency to either swing from in to out or out to in, and you've got to remember that the golf swing isn't a straight line, it's a curve. You're coming from there, when you go over the top, it's still a curve, it's not a straight line, it's just the whole curve has moved. So you just got to figure out where you're bottoming out, where you're hitting, coming in on the ball. Are you coming from outside the line, inside the line of where you've aimed? Get yourself one of these alignment rod, put it on the ground when you're practicing, make sure that is on the target line, line yourself up to that, and you'll find from that, am I hitting it right, am I hitting it left? You'll find which way your swing goes. Personally, for me, my swing is out to in. I never knew that for years until I was tested, and I'd line up and I hit the ball, and in those days I'd hit a draw, and when the cane was put down on my feet, I was clearly a long way right. I thought I was perfectly lined up. These days, I'm more like to square to the target, but my swing path is still naturally out to in. If I can do it the other way, I have to manufacture it. If I'm playing my best golf, it comes out to in, and I play a controlled fade. So when I play my best golf, because I've just adjusted the face angle ever so slightly, so when I hit, it starts just left of target. I'm swinging left of target. I put a little bit of the old tilt on it, and it'll spin in and just nicely come back. It's a controlled way of playing. So that's so we go back. We got the straight shot, straight, straight, straight. Then we have the ball that bends left. The ball always bends away from the club path, either bend left away or right away, and that just depends whether your club face is either open to the path or close to the path. If I'm close to the path, the ball is going to set off. So that, let's do it this way around so you can see. There's my path. That's the perpendicular line of the face there. So I'm swinging that way, but my face is closed. The ball will take off near this, remember, close to this, but because it's closed, it was knocked that way, so it's going to spin out further. Or that could be your hook. To turn it into a draw, you just have to do it more like that. So I'm still closed. There's my path now. There's my target. I'm closed. The ball's going to set off close to this one, and about there, and it's got that spin axis being knocked over, and it'll come back this way. We can switch it around the other way. So now, if I'm swinging that way, and I have an open path relative to that, so it's there, the ball's going to come here. So this is my swing. Ball will set off here and move back towards the middle. The bigger this is, the bigger that becomes. Play big slices and big hooks and get them to land in the middle of the fairway. Watch some of the footage of Bubba Watson playing. Slings the ball all over the place. Ends up where he wants it though. So he could be starting like that, really cutting across it. Ball starts here, goes over his line by a long way, but ends up in the middle. Anyone look at it and say, oh look, he sliced it. Yeah, he might have done, but it was deliberate to get him to where he wanted to go, and that's why he could feel it. Probably has a problem hitting the straight shot. So the ball will always move away from your path towards where the club face was aiming. Simplest way I like to think about it is, if you want to bend the ball left, aim right, and always aim the club face where you want it to finish. So it will start off just to the right of that, but come back. And vice versa, if you want to start the ball left and finish right, aim left, aim the face at where you want it to finish. So it'll look more like that. I want it to finish here, aim the face there, and I swing left, I aim left. That's a very simple way of handling spin. So let's recap. The ball does not go where the swing path goes, and the ball does not have side spin. The ball will take off in the direction nearer to where the club face is pointing. It will move away from the swing path in the direction of where the club face was pointing, and the reason it does is that its spin axis has been knocked to one side or the other. And why that works is all to do with lift. The wings horizontal, that's going to be a straight ball. You knock it to the side, one side or the other, the lift changes and moves the ball away in that direction. I hope that simplifies it for you. There's a lot in there. There's more stuff. Could talk about gear effect. Might leave that one for another video there. Look out for my other videos on how to control ball flight. You can control your ball flight, you control the scores, and hopefully you won't get any of those big ones on the scorecard. If you like what you saw here, please do like, subscribe, and I really like your comments. A lot of your comments will drive what I do for you. So please comment below, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. See you in the next one.